This is the Rail Yard Studios TimberTop desk. We hope you enjoy owning it as much as we enjoy building it. As you can see, the legs have all been pulled out already, and we're starting to measure them. The front legs are 30.5 inches apart. That'll allow the piece to slip in the front of it that is the skirt, measuring to make sure they're clearly labeled left and right and front. The back legs are labeled right and left and back. That's as you're sitting at the desk. So as I stand in the video, you'll see me as if I were sitting there at the desk. I'm making sure that the legs are each 10.5 inches apart from the front and the back there. And now I've got the skirt. The smooth side goes towards you in the desk. The rough side goes out. It just slots down and in. And it should line up perfectly with the outside pieces, and it'll all hold together as you install the other portions. The gauge rods that go in here are actual gauge rods. They're used to hold track in the proper alignment. The ends of the gauge rods should be 5.5 inches from the top of the ties that you've got on the floor. That's 5.5 inches from the wood all the way out to the end. I've installed these so that they alternate, so that the hooks are on opposite ends, the clamps are on opposite ends. You can install them either way, with the hooks on one end to the left or to the right, or you can alternate the hooks. I just prefer the look with it done this way. Again, 5.5 inches from the end with a hook, and then you're ready to start putting in the top. The first piece that goes in the top is the steel. This is the rail. It just slides in, slides underneath the clamp and into the hook. Now that's the unbranded piece of rail that you put in first. This is numbered. This is number 1 of the timbers. I showed you the slots, and then there's a groove cut in the side on number 1 and a hole in the top. The base is going to go into the slot that I showed you on the side. The other 2 slots on the bottom are actually being held by the rails. So they're spacing the rails for you and holding the tie in place. Now, the tie is fixed. The rail can shift to line up with the tie. Trying to shift the wood won't work because it is locked into place with the grooves in the bottom. Just pull it up tight. You don't have to snug it up too much because we're going to tighten it up in a minute, and that'll close up the gap on the end. The second tie will come in. You'll see it's grooved as well. Those grooves drop right in and help to line everything up sitting on the gauge rods. Each one of them is numbered on the end, as I showed you before. They're numbered in this picture from right to left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm bringing them in here as we go. The 5th tie, as it goes in, is the one that has the date nail on it. So you'll see right there on the front of it, there's the number 29, 1929 date nail. Still 2 more ties to go in. And these last 2 ties, on the last one, number 7, you'll notice it's different. It has the hole in it like the first tie did. It's also got a slot. And then I've twisted the clamp so that it's ready to receive the rail when I bring it in. Now the rail has got a brand on one side. The brand is here. What I've done is I've turned it so that the brand is facing away from the timber so that it can be seen. And you have a piece to show off in your home and explain to people about it. All the information on the brand is contained in the certificate of authenticity that's with it. It slides in through the pieces. When we shipped it, we left it with enough slack that those should have room to slide in. And then you just hand tighten these bolts down. Your hands are going to get dirty. You're going to need to wash them afterwards, but it's worth it. These are naturally rusted steel, and we thought it gave it a much nicer look. It kept the orangey look rather than sealing the steel. Don't over tighten them. If you over tighten them, you'll know. As you see here in the video, if we over tighten that bolt, it will cause your table to buck up a little bit, and if it does, just back the bolt off a little bit. But it'll hold everything very solidly into place. This is the block that goes underneath. The smooth side goes up, and it's labeled as such, says this side up. It's labeled number 1 to go underneath the 1 tie. It's got the hole in it as well. And so you put it down in place, and then if you'll drop the screw in before you push the block all the way up, it's easier to put the block into place. And then you simply thread the bolt with the nut onto the bottom of it. Hand tightened is perfectly okay, just like with the other piece of it. It's going to hold in place quite nicely. There's another one that goes on the other side. It's labeled number 7, just like the number 7 tie. Again, the smooth side is going to go up. The rough side is going to go down. If you slot it in underneath that side, they can be tight, but trust me, they will fit. The spacing is all measured out very closely. And again, put the nut onto it, hand tighten it, and you're pretty much done. We've made it look awfully easy, but it can be challenging at times. But if you follow the instructions, it goes together rather nicely. And that's the TimberTop desk. We appreciate you letting us be part of your family. Thank you.